Hello and welcome to the Get Creative podcast, the podcast for creatives by creatives. I'm Evan Schmidt, and my guests today are Joe Leachko and Keith Parish, the owners of Studio Me, a media production studio in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go get creative. So Joe, what's one thing that you learned that you wish you knew when you were younger?
I guess one thing I've learned to keep in mind that I wish I knew earlier when I was younger was following up with people and to really hold your word and to make sure that your actions are speaking louder than you talking. I have a lot of friends who they do a lot of talking and and nothing comes of it. And then you start to notice those people fall away on the wayside in a way. But the people that I then found myself gravitating towards, the people who are acting upon it. And so I kind of learned from them to hold my word, to not talk, but just do. Like come up with the idea and go with it. It's a lot more effective, obviously, and it's a lot easier to get things done and to kind of get your message across to people. I wish I knew that when I was younger, because in school we were always competing about who sounded smarter or who could speak better than the other. But when it came down to showing any progress on a project through school or anything at work, there was nothing to show for it. Everyone was just really good at talking and speaking and presenting a lot of nothing. So nowadays, it's a lot of get it done. You know, you come up with that idea and there's no BS to it, you know. So I think that's why I see a lot in Keith, where it's, you know, he comes with the idea and you go with the idea and you keep rocking with it, and then it kind of develops as it goes, and that's the only way you're ever going to see any change through it, is just further developing and just keep moving. So I just find that most successful, and I wish I knew that when I was younger. So it's a very, very key thing right now for me.
So one thing that I've learned since I was younger, I actually learned it from my mentor, and it's been one of the most true things that I've ever learned, which is that, you know, even when things seem difficult or like you can't overcome them, he said, you know, just keep your head down and just keep grinding and just keep going for it. And I definitely, you know, understand that now more than ever with starting a new business, because there's times when things just seem sort of insurmountable, but the way through it is you just put your head down and you just keep trucking and you just keep going, and it ends up, you know, where it all works out in the end. So it sort of keeps you sane, I guess, in the process too, by keeping that mantra.
All right. So tell me about the project that's pushing you guys on the border of insane.
So this year in East Liberty, we've opened up a studio called Studio Me, and it's the first hub for media production where we do services for video, photo, and audio. We have 4 different studios available to reserve. We have workstations for post-production, and then we do rental equipment for video, photo, and audio. And we also have a unique studio in that it's the first self-guided studio, and it's designed for users no matter what your experience level is. So whether you're a novice or a professional, you can take advantage of the studio and create your own high-quality media.
So this studio, I mean, all of these studios within this one, they're controlled environments. So they have high-quality equipment inside of it, and the walls are packed to control the sound around you. And you can't always get that with a homemade system or your iPhone or a camera you've had laying around for a while. So we're here to create to help people create high quality content with all this professional equipment. So for examples, a real estate agent can come in and make a Meet Your Agent video. You know, they could have the green screen behind them, all the professional lighting, the professional sound, and a really nice camera to take this for them and to shoot it. And they can also create, you know, high quality photography as well. So a headshot for their business card or any type of other promos that they want to use it for. Other examples are startups, entrepreneurs starting up companies. They need promo videos. They need instructional videos. They also need high quality photography for their projects, any type of products that they're making. And even announcements too. If you have something big you would like to announce, you can create a nice video on it, and it can be relatively quick, and we can have it, edited for you, or you can edit yourself on one of our stations, and then you're done. So I mean, that's the best part. We strive to be that hub for all of media. So we just want everyone to come to us with that one-stop shop mentality, and then we're there to help them.
And my background's in video production. I own a video production company called Parish Digital Video, and I started back in 2007. And one of my frustrations, what was my frustration at the time, was that there was plenty of really large studio spaces for the more traditional productions where you had a lot of crew, a lot of equipment, and it was meant for bigger productions, and now everything's gotten smaller, crew sizes have gotten smaller, and you really just on many occasions need a small space that's sound controlled, that's light controlled, and that has all the equipment available within an arm's reach. I would spend half my day setting up for a shot that would the shot itself only took an hour to film, or the interview, but most of the day was spent packing my van, getting to the location, setting everything up. And I just wish that there was a resource out there available where you could, just show up and just tweak the lighting, tweak the camera, and be sort of off to the races. And so, one of the things we're offering at our studio is a 2-hour package, which most big studios only offer either half day or full day, and some don't even offer half day. So, let's say you just wanted to do a quick interview that's only going to take an hour to shoot. I mean, you'd have to spend a lot of money for a half day or a full day at a large studio, and you're only going to be using a small portion of that studio. So this is just meant for, very, it can be used for a wide range of things, but it seemed inefficient to me and not very cost effective to reserve a very large studio just to do a simple interview, or to do a talent speaking to the camera. So it just made sense. I always thought, why don't you just do some smaller, break up that big studio space into some smaller studio spaces, and then be able to rent multiple ones out at a time. That way you can actually offer smaller packages and not have to reserve the whole thing for the whole day.
Cool. Well, Keith, Joe, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And that's it for another episode of the Get Creative podcast. You can find more information about this podcast at evanschmidt.com. I'm also on Twitter and LinkedIn. Feel free to connect. For more information about this episode's guest, just check out their links in the show notes. If you want to be a guest on a future show, send me an email. I'd be glad to have you. I'm Evan Schmidt. Thanks for listening. Now go get creative.